Somewhere in your house right now, there is almost certainly a drawer. You know the one I mean. It contains a single earring whose partner disappeared years ago, a chain with a broken clasp you always meant to fix, a ring from a relationship that ended, and possibly, if your family is anything like most families, a small envelope of dental gold that somebody inherited and nobody quite knew what to do with. That drawer is, in a very literal sense, money. Most people have simply never had a reason to find out how much. Welcome back to the Next Biz Thing. I am Markus J. Diploma, and this is the show where I go looking for businesses that are doing something quietly excellent in their corner of the world, and then spend an episode working out exactly why it works. Today we are in Munich, on a street called Schützenstraße, just a short walk from the main railway station, and we are talking about a family-run business that has built a formidable reputation in one of the oldest trades there is. The business is called Schützen Goldstube, and what they do is buy gold. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, because I thought it too when I started looking into this. Buying gold is not exactly a new idea. There have been people trading precious metals for as long as there have been precious metals. So what makes this worth an episode? The answer, and I think this is the interesting part, is that this is a category where trust is almost the entire product, and that is a much harder thing to build than it sounds. Let me explain what I mean. When you walk into a shop with a handful of old jewelry, you are at an enormous informational disadvantage. You almost certainly do not know the purity of what you are holding. You probably do not know today's gold price, and even if you looked it up on your phone in the car park, you do not know what proportion of that price is a fair offer once refining and margin are accounted for. You do not know whether the piece has value beyond its metal content, as an antique, or for its craftsmanship. You are, in short, entirely dependent on the honesty and competence of the person across the counter. That asymmetry is why this trade has historically had a reputation problem, and it is precisely the problem that Schützen Goldstube has set out to solve. Their approach is to make the process visible. When you bring something in, the analysis happens on the spot, in front of you, at no cost. They test the alloy to establish the actual gold content and purity, rather than asking you to accept a figure. They explain what they are doing while they do it, and the offer is anchored to the current daily gold rate, so the number you are given has a reference point you can check yourself. It sounds simple. It is also, I would argue, the single most important design decision in the entire business, because it converts an opaque transaction into a transparent one. The range of what they handle is broad. Scrap gold in every form, which is to say the broken and the mismatched and the unloved. Gold jewelry, gold coins and bars for people holding physical bullion. Dental gold, which comes up more often than you might imagine and which people are frequently unsure is worth anything at all. Silver items, antiques, and luxury watches, which is a specialism substantial enough that it deserves its own moment. Because the watch side of this business is genuinely serious. They deal in pre-owned timepieces from the names that define the category: Rolex, Patek Philippe, Cartier, Omega, Breitling, Panerai, and they describe themselves as watch specialists by passion, which is the sort of phrase that could be marketing, but in this case is supported by what they actually offer. They buy, they sell, they repair and service, they provide free expert appraisals, and they will take a piece on commission if you would rather they find the right buyer than simply sell it outright. That last option matters more than people realize. A watch sold quickly and a watch sold well are often two very different numbers, and having both routes available means the seller can choose based on whether they need speed or value. There is also a detail in how they handle larger transactions that I find quite telling. For anything over 300 grams, there is a private consultation room, a discreet space away from the shop floor where a significant transaction can be conducted properly. Think for a moment about who actually needs that. Someone settling an estate after a death in the family. Someone going through a divorce. Someone liquidating an inheritance they have complicated feelings about. These are rarely happy errands, and they are almost never things people want to do standing at a counter in front of strangers. Providing a room is a small operational decision that reflects a real understanding of the customer's emotional situation, and those are the details that separate a good business from a merely competent one. They will also come to you. Home visits for larger holdings, which again addresses an obvious and rarely acknowledged problem, namely that carrying a significant quantity of precious metal across a city on public transport is something most people would prefer not to do. And the business is not purely about buying. They sell jewelry, they create custom rings, they do engraving, they service watches. So the relationship does not have to end at the sale. Someone who comes in to part with an inherited piece may leave having commissioned something new from the proceeds, which strikes me as a rather lovely closing of a circle. So does any of this actually work? The evidence is unusually clear. They hold a 5-star Google rating across more than 600 reviews, which is a genuinely remarkable figure. Anyone who has run a consumer-facing business knows how difficult it is to maintain a perfect average at that volume, because volume brings variance, and variance brings the occasional 1-star review from someone having a bad day. On Proven Expert, they sit at 4.96 out of 5 with a 100% recommendation rate, and they have been covered by Finanzen 100, Focus, NTV, RTL and Merkur, which suggests the German financial and consumer press regards them as a credible voice on the subject rather than simply another shop. They are open 6 days a week, from 8 in the morning, which tells you something too. Early opening is a business saying it would like to be convenient for people with jobs. Let me widen the lens for a moment, because I think there is a bigger story here. We are living through a period in which a great many people are thinking about tangible assets in a way they were not 15 years ago. Inflation, currency volatility, and a general sense of economic unpredictability have made physical gold interesting again, not to speculators but to ordinary households. At the same time, there is a genuine cultural shift happening around second-hand luxury. The pre-owned watch market has grown enormously, driven partly by value and partly by sustainability, as a generation of buyers decides that the most environmentally sound luxury object is one that already exists. Businesses that sit at the junction of those two currents, that can competently value both a broken chain and a vintage Rolex, are extremely well positioned. And underneath all of it, there is the trust point I keep coming back to. In every industry where the seller knows vastly more than the buyer, and this is true of car repair, of financial advice, of home renovation, of precious metals, the durable competitive advantage is not price. It is reputation. It is being the business that people recommend to their mother. 605-star reviews is not a marketing achievement. It is 600 separate occasions on which somebody walked out feeling they had been treated fairly. So if you are in Munich, or if you happen to have inherited something you have never had valued, or if you are simply curious what is actually sitting in that drawer, this is a business worth knowing about. Go and look at what they offer, read what their customers have said, and consider getting an appraisal. It costs nothing to find out. That is where I will leave things today. Thank you for spending this time with me. If you enjoyed this one, pass it along to someone who has been meaning to sort out a jewelry box for about a decade. I will be back soon with another business worth your attention. Until then, I am Markus J. Diplama, and this has been the Next Biz Thing. Take care of yourselves and keep building.